now going to give it over to Kamil and go from there. Cool.
Thanks, Piero. Now, some of you are familiar faces, some of you I know quite well, some of you are new. So I'll give a brief introduction and story into myself as well. I'm Kamil. I'm a transformational coach. I've been coaching for the last 6 years. And the essence and the fundamentals of what I really do is working with individuals to transform how they see themselves and how they see the world. Now, from my understanding and experience into human psychology and performance, I've seen that this lies at the absolute foundation for what governs our entire human experience and existence, which is why I explore the work in this way. Now, prior to coaching, I worked in a completely different field, very different life, in law as well. And at that point in my journey, it was what I thought I wanted, right? This was the path, this was how I was going to follow, become a solicitor, maybe a barrister, and that was going to be my life for decades to come. And around this point in my life, I was sat at my desk doing my job, and I was thinking to myself, this can't be it. Like, something isn't quite clicking here. You know, I was looking at my screen, and this idea I had for my life just wasn't aligning with what my experience actually was. So I thought, okay, I'm now seeing the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years looking in this way, but surely this can't be it. So I was now in that space of just being completely lost and confused. Anyone else been in a similar space like that before? You're thinking, what the hell is going on? No, what is this? Yeah, that was what was going on. So I was thinking, okay, why am I here? Like, why am I actually here? What is my purpose? What do I want to do? And I was drawing a blank. I was thinking, like, it's not going to be law anymore, so what is it going to be? I began to experiment, follow my curiosity. Around this point in my life, I was diving a lot more into my own spirituality too. And that became a big part of me trying to understand why I'm really here. And coinciding this with finally being able to process some past trauma earlier in my life, when I was 13, my father passed away. And that was something I hadn't addressed for so many years after that. It was just buried deep down. And at that point, it finally came to the surface where I was able to understand, integrate, and process, to just let go of the trauma, let go of the pain. And this was happening while I was also in that space of being lost in my career. And all of this led me into an understanding of being here for the transformation of myself and others, to help raise the collective consciousness. Now, what does it mean to raise the collective consciousness? It means that as human beings, we live in our own self-imposed suffering and limitation. Raising our level of consciousness means being free of that, being able to experience our own mind, our own selves, where we are free of that limitation and suffering, or experiencing it in a different way. And that's really why I'm here, to act as a catalyst and a vehicle for that. So also being on my own journey too, and working on my own shit, and dealing with my own humanness in the process. So I'm here as a peer. I'm here meeting you at that level so we can guide and explore that together. And that's a bit of my journey and my story so far. So thank you for listening to that. Now, how many of you have been to a Mastermind, Immersion, retreats, some kind of event that feels similar to this before? 2? Cool, even better. So, this is not going to be a typical Mastermind. This is not going to be a typical personal development event and seminar. We're not just here to sit and listen and think, yeah, that sounds great, now what can I do with that? This is not what that's going to be about. This is going to be a deep experience into really looking at yourself in the most honest way possible and understanding what is the real breakthrough that I'm looking for here. Do not keep this surface level, please. Please don't keep this surface level. Some of you shared a few answers in the form that we sent. I really loved a lot of the vulnerability some of you were showing. More of that. You can come here and think, oh, I'm just going to talk about this thing, or yeah, that would be interesting to talk about. you're not going to get the most out of it that way. How you're going to get the most out of this is really bringing the most honest look into yourself, into your life, into who you are, and thinking, what is the thing I don't want to talk about? What is the thing that I'm scared to talk about? What is the thing I'm going to think, what are people going to think of me if I say these words out loud? This is my invitation. I'm going to be fully open with you, share all of my vulnerabilities. Ask me any question in the world, I'll tell you. And all I'm asking is that you bring a similar level of vulnerability, because that's going to help you to get the most out of it. Your heart might race if you're going to say this thing that you don't want people to hear or know. That's okay. Now, in order for us to explore this together, I want to create some agreements with you for that, so we can have the most powerful setting for this kind of work. Sound good? Okay. Some of them I'm going to use from a previous retreat that I ran. But the first agreement, and I'm doing this as a mutual agreement, so if there's any objections, tell me so we can explore it together. To treat this room and this space as a safe space, right? To keep anything shared between us here confidential. Afterwards, if you want to share things, you can, but personal information about someone in particular, keep to yourself. So can we agree to treat this as a safe space and keep everything confidential? Any questions about that? Cool. The second is to treat everyone in this space with love and respect, and to look for the highest version of who they are. Some of you may get your biggest insight from someone else in this room. Not me, not Piero. You might have a conversation in the break and someone might say something and wow, like that clicked. So if you're treating each other from looking at each person in this room, looking for their greatness, looking for the gold in them, looking at who they are beneath any judgments that you have of them, that is going to be where you see even more gold in the peers around you right now. The third is to agree and to respect and hold the silence in the room where appropriate. We're not here to fill space. We're not here to talk over each other. Now, if someone in this room, thank you for being here, bro. If someone in this room is having an insight, they're having a moment, hold the silence. Don't feel like you need to share something, interrupt, add something. Just let them be with that silence in that moment so they can experience it. So be comfortable in the silence when it arises. We agree to ask questions and interact so we can get the most out of this program. It's very easy to sit back, listen, and that's a beautiful thing. But if there is something that you think and you want to say it, but you're thinking, this sounds dumb. There are no stupid questions, please. So, speak it. Just say the question, ask, raise your hand. Now, this last agreement, what do you think is going to be the single thing today that determines what you experience? Anyone? Openness? Change you do after. Commitment to the process. Transformation. What will be the single determining factor that determines what you see and what you experience today? This. Yeah. As a possibility, I'm not saying this is right, it's something to explore. As a possibility, it's the lens of our listening. Now, what do I mean by the lens of our listening? You can show up here today and think, what's this about? Let's see what this guy is going to say. Who does he think he is? Or you can show up and treat this from a lens of listening where you're looking for the gold no matter what is said, no matter what happens. You are being the person in the chair who is looking for the gold. Because I guarantee you, after this immersion, every single person that leaves this room is going to have a different experience. All of you will have a different experience. And a big difference with that is based on your listening. Are you listening through judgment? Or are you listening through, what is the gold in this for me? I could stand here and talk absolute shit for the next few hours, but the person who is listening for the gold is going to extract gold out of shit. And that's the point. Huh?
Gold digging, basically.
Gold digging, yeah, you're digging for you're digging for gold, exactly. Now, in order for us to get into this space of listening, I'm going to invite you into an exercise. So I'm going to invite you all to close your eyes, please, right now. Get present. Feel into your body. Notice your breath. Pretend that this room right now is the only room in the world. Your outside world, everything outside this room has disappeared. It's just you being here right now. Now, in your mind, I want you to think of someone. They may be someone who's passed, someone who is no longer with us. They may be someone who's here, who's in the world right now. It could be someone that you know or someone you don't know. It could be someone fictional or someone that's real. But the point of this is whoever this person is that comes to your mind, if they were in the room right now with you and they had a message for you, for your life, for who you are, and you would bring the deepest level of presence and listening for this person, that's who I want you to think of. Who is that person for you? They could be an entity, a being, anything. But if they were with you in this space and they had the most important message that you needed to hear for your life and who you are, you're going to bring that level of presence. And sit with that feeling right now. Sit with that person and who they are. And realize that they have that for you in this room today. Okay, you can open your eyes. Did everyone have someone? Okay. Cool. Now, given everything that I've just shared, this question that we had in the questionnaire about what you really want to bring today, what's the real breakthrough here? What is the real shift in who you are in yourself that is going to be the game changer for you? Some of you may have the same answers that you gave. Some of you may think, I could go deeper here. So I'm going to give you all a couple of minutes right now to actually sit with that. To think, what is the breakthrough for me today that is going to be the biggest game changer for my life? I'll put a timer on take 3, 4 minutes. Sit with it, reflect, make some notes if you need to, and then we'll dive in. Everyone got something? Anyone not have something? Okay, cool. You have an idea? Okay. Now, one thing to mention here is, as we are about to explore these breakthroughs and dive into coaching, this is a group setting. So if I'm speaking to someone, if I'm asking someone a question, I'm asking it to everyone. I'm going to wait for this. Yes, if I'm asking someone a question, it's a question for everyone. So this may happen a lot today. Someone is being coached, but you actually receive the insight that you need, and you're not even being coached in that moment because you're hearing something in it for you. So treat this in that way where everything I say is not being said to one person, it's being said to everyone, or if someone is sharing something, it's being shared for everyone. And that way you're never going to feel like you're not actually receiving something because it's all for you. That's the lens to see this in. Now, again, as we go into this process, has anyone received coaching before? Raise your hand if you have. Okay, maybe about half. Okay. Anything I say is coming from a place to serve. It's not to attack, it's not to judge, it's just here to love and serve every single one of you. So if you receive it from that place, being open to anything that even comes across as direct or challenging, that's something to create with you right now. So bring that to this process and you'll get the most out of it. I'd love to hear some of the breakthroughs some of you have thought of or wanted to share. So you don't have to share right now if you don't want to, but we can go around the room to share what's the breakthrough that you came up with in that reflection time. Anyone want to go first?
I feel like I want to be more present. Every time when I talk with someone or is talking with me, I'm so analytical and thinking through my lens and see somehow not so. How should I put it? I try to not thinking about their emotions and just be so analytical with them and tell them straight away on the face, like, look, you have to do this and this. But sometimes I'm attacking those type of people, and also I'm attacking myself so many times because you have to do like that, otherwise it won't work. And I put a lot of pressure on me because of that. And I seeing being so present, I'm seeing like I want to live the life to the fullest, not just being analytical. If it makes sense.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is bringing more presence to others and to yourself.
Yeah, for myself, yeah.
More understanding,
Exactly.
compassion.
Compassion, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ignore the writing. Anyone else?
I'll go next. But mine is going to be pretty simple. I think I want to hear the stories of people, and the biggest thing that I want to change about myself in the breakthrough is going to be get rid of the judgment.
Like self-judgment?
Because I do now. Maybe I'm myself as well. Maybe that's the environment. Can you add to the judgment of others as well?
Do we have an eraser? Ah, yes.
I mean, for me, it would be patience with myself and patience with others. I think it's one of the solutions that I
Okay.
would like to sort out.
For me, one of the things that I'd like to do more is trust myself when I make decisions, or before I'm about to make a decision, how can I trust my instinct?
Okay.
God, I relate to all of these. It's going to be massive. I am a professional procrastinator. I really think I'm operating at about 30% of what I could be operating at. And I've been trying to get into what's causing it. But it's almost like, I know that I'm not a lazy person, but in many ways I am. And I often find that I try and do the bare minimum to get the impact. And I'm definitely missing a lot of opportunities from not taking enough action quickly enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I think accepting the uncertainty of life, so accepting to fail, accepting to be vulnerable, accepting not to be perfect, accepting, that it's gonna happen how it's gonna happen, whatever's gonna happen.
Anyone else?
I don't know how to explain it, so I'll just describe it. But definitely have some of those as well. But wishing things were a certain way that are out of your control. I don't know how to put it.
So it's like something's out of your control, but you're trying to force it.
Yeah, maybe force it, or like, yeah, you wish things were like that, or you want things to be a certain way, but
Understood. And yeah, so it's almost like a resistance to what is, like a conflict.
maybe that's it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are delusional again, which has always worked, but I think as you get older you lose some of that because of those things. So I want to bring my extreme delusion back.
I would say for myself, not having materialistic things at the forefront of my mind, especially coming like ever since I moved to Dubai, I want to keep God as the foundation. It's so easy like to walk out the door and you see like McLarens, Ferraris, and always having that at the top of my mind. I find it's a distraction sometimes, and I can always like subconsciously catch myself drifting that way. And I just sort of want to have it as a permanent foundation where my subconscious doesn't even drift. So I don't know how you put that in the thing, but I would say make God more of a foundation no matter what environment I'm in. For sure.
like relationships in general?
I'd say for me, two things is kindness to myself and also breaking my walls and being seen. That comes with like self-belief. In general, like I know the breakthrough in my life would be, putting myself out there more, let's say business-wise, and I know that would also change drastically with what I want in my life. In terms of being kind, is more like, talking to myself and having that affirmations of like you're good at what you're doing and don't be scared of people judging you. So doing kind things to also kind of give that affirmation to myself that everything will be alright and everything will lead to the way it's supposed to be for you.
Okay, so the being seen, addressing that, and changing the self-talk.
Yeah.
Does anyone know? Oh.
I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to work harder and keep pushing in my project. And maybe I am not enjoying too much life as I'm supposed to be. Maybe, I don't know. I think that,
Okay, so there's a pressure to work,
yeah,
and it's taking away from just like enjoying,
moments.
yeah, like having moments and.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks everyone for going a bit deeper. Now, as we just went through that, and everyone was sharing all of these areas, did anyone have any thoughts based on what other people were sharing? Perhaps maybe you saw something similar, or
All common problems.
yeah,
Pretty much all of them. It's like, I definitely had that as well.
yeah. It's like what one person is experiencing. Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Huh?
we're also similar. If you
Yeah.
just, put on the surface, it's just same problems. Whether you're a president or a person on the street that is speaking,
Mm. Yeah. Everyone here, man, woman, brown, white, Lambo, Toyota. we've all got the same stuff.
So it's normal to feel like that.
Huh?
It's normal to feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Me
you
too.
have to accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is part of in my opinion, some of the division that's created is where we think someone is different or separate to us. It's BS. When you peel back all the layers. Okay, let's get started. Who wants to jump in the hot seat first?
What's the, like, you're going to coach?
Yeah. No. Huh? Yeah? Okay, so you shared the self-trust, correct? Yeah. Okay, tell me more.
I think lately I've been like for the last 6 months I've been thinking, okay, it's time to think of the next thing I'm going to do. So I'm in my job, I'm a bit bored. Do I move? Do I leave Dubai? Do I do this? Do I look for another job? And it seems like I cannot trust any decision I make because I'm scared that I'll be making the wrong one. Yeah, I'll let you dig.
Okay. What makes something a wrong decision?
Not being in the idea relationship in a city that I'm super convinced of or things like that. And then the fact that I'm not, thinking, okay, I must have done something wrong. So this is why.
Okay. And when you create something as this was the wrong decision, what's the effect of that?
So when I think that was the wrong decision.
Yeah. So when you think, oh, I made these wrong decisions, I make wrong decisions, like what effect does that have for you?
It makes me make no decisions.
Ah.
So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, wait, I need to think this through. Yeah, maybe makes me feel a bit of regret as well.
Okay. Through seeing something as a wrong decision, what are you looking to get from that?
For me, it's more, okay, what can I learn from that wrong decision that I don't make it again? It's like this.
Yeah. Circle. Yeah. So there's part of you that's thinking, hey, if I say yes, I'm making wrong decisions, I'm going to learn. But there's this other part that's thinking, oh, I make wrong decisions, so I'm not going to make any.
Yeah.
How are you hearing this at the moment?
I'm hearing that train of thought is useless.
Yeah. What's it like to laugh at that?
What's it like to laugh at it?
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes me take myself less seriously.
Yeah.
Like it should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. Now, initially I asked you what makes something a wrong decision. If a decision is a decision, it's never right and it's never wrong. It's just a decision. There are going to be certain outcomes and experiences we have based on what we're creating out of it. So for example, how would your world look different? Or what would you experience in your decision making if you could never make a wrong decision? If every decision you made was, this was the right decision?
I think in that case I would let go of any goal I have. Because if you're not sure you're making the right decision, then how do you know that you're going towards a goal? But then I feel like I would just be a headless chicken.
No, if every decision you made, no matter what it was, this is the right decision for me. That's what I'm creating.
So how would I know? So what would it feel like if all of my decisions were...
Yeah, so how would you see the world? How would you experience your decisions if you were creating, I'm making right decisions as opposed to I'm making wrong decisions?
I think I'd have more fun.
Yeah? We saw it in your energy just now.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think probably taking things a bit more lightly and just experiencing.
Okay. So I'm being, any decision I make is the right one for me because that's who I'm being and what I'm creating from this. The decision is just a decision. But you're experiencing fun, lightness, and movement towards this thing that you want. Sound accurate?
Sounds accurate, but it's not something that I'm embodying right now.
Yeah. And is there a part of you that's like, but?
Oh yeah.
And what is that but saying?
But what if I get to in 5 years and I'm still not in a place where I'm like, yeah, fair actually. No, because if I'm having fun, then whatever. I don't know what the but is anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you're just having fun. And making decisions.
I guess so.
Yeah. Was that helpful?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to explore on it?
No.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Did anyone else hear anything in that? Anything came up for you?
As a follow-up, I mean.
Like from that, what was just explored?
Yeah, I was just thinking when you were speaking is that because like my life is the opposite. When I often pivot, like I've changed career twice. I'm changing it now for the third time. I'm trying to do things, and then like every time I ask myself, then so what? You know what I mean? Like even if it's a wrong decision, you have a goal, right? And then you move towards that goal, and you see along the way that it's not where actually what you wanted, or
But how do you define that goal?
it's just what I want. You know, it's just for me what kind of lifestyle, for example, what I want. What Peter was saying is that how do I want my day to look like? Do I want to wake up every day at 6 a.m., go to the office and sit there on the calls and listen to people about the problems? No. What I want is that maybe I want a slow morning, right? I want to go have a coffee first and then meditate and then sit and work on my business, for example. Does not my life right now look like that? No, to be honest. So let's go make a change. Right? So I have a goal. So I kind of work backwards, I guess. So I have a goal on that, and then I make decision. And if along the way I see the decision doesn't really bring me where I want to be, you know, I'm like, okay, fine, let's just do it. Yeah. And then, but the time that I spent on doing that, the first path, is never wasted. What I've learned is that every time I did something, for example, I had the bachelor's degree in finance and business, right? And I was like, okay, but now I'm in IT, and then like, yeah, but how much that thing is helping me right now if I want to set up my business? Or for example, with my personal finances, everything you learn, that my biggest learning is, it will be handy, you know what I mean? Like even if it seemed like a wrong decision at first. But I guess for me it's just like, does it bring me to the thing where I want, or where I want to be? If not, let's just do it. Yeah. Like what's the worst thing that's
Yeah, that's
that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I like that way of thinking.
So, and then I think you can have more fun with it. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Okay, who wants to jump in next? I'm happy to pick if not. Huh?
Do it.
Oh. No one wants to volunteer? Okay.
Mine was like the patience with self
And others.
others, but mainly me.
Yeah.
And the main thing is that I feel like I'm behind where I should be. But that is not really in my control because of, I come from a corporate finance. At 24, quit and decided to be an entrepreneur, and everyone in my family was against it. And to a certain extent still are, but I've managed to build something out of nothing. And I'm turning 30 in like a month, and I still feel like, I'm like far behind when I look around. And it's just about being okay with my path rather than comparing it to the people around me. Because you have guys that are like 21, super successful, and you're like, shit, what if I started at 21? But at the time it was, I come from a family that's always been 9 to 5. My dad works, my mom works, so it's like, that's the only path. So I was the first one to kind of deviate and told, you're stupid, what are you doing? Get a job, get a job. It's not 3 years. I don't have a job and I love it. I have the slow morning, the freedom. But it's still that lingering thought like, shit, I'm behind. I should be settled. I should be taking care of my parents. I should be looking to start a family. Just being more stable. So this is something that bothers me on a daily.
Okay. There's this thought, I'm behind. It's being reinforced with certain things. Like, because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this. Does that thought feel true? That I'm behind?
It depends on what I'm looking at against, right? Like if I look at the people around me that are at similar, let's say, ages who stuck with a career, yes. Or who started a business earlier, yes, I am behind, in that comparison. But because I made a switch, I've just developed my own, let's say, timeline. But it's still difficult to just isolate yourself and focus on your own timeline with social media, with events, just people around you see it, and it's up to me to kind of ignore it, but that's where I'm not doing too well.
Okay. So sometimes it feels true,
Yeah,
and sometimes it doesn't.
exactly.
And it tends to depend on like what's going on. Okay. How do you treat yourself when you're believing the thoughts that I'm behind?
It pushes me in a way, but then it's kind of like there's only so much, I can do, and then there I have to kind of give up some of it to the universe to let it happen. It's not like I can control all the outcomes. So yes, it motivates me, but it still frustrates me.
There's a bit of a, okay, let me push a bit, but then it's not fun.
Yeah,
It's
or
like-
it's not the outcome that I'm expecting. And it's like, but I push. Like, how much more do I need to push? So it gets frustrating. And then the pivot from motivation to frustration happens so fast. But then you don't feel like it goes back to the thought of shit, I'm behind.
What might you see if you were to question that thought? Like, to start bringing like the finger to it and thinking, is this BS? Like, what might you see if you were to question the thought that I'm behind? Sit with it. Like, if you were to start to look at it from a place of, I'm not treating this as my objective truth, what would I see? What might open up? Where is it actually not, perhaps not as true as I believe? What comes up for you? Okay. Who would you be without it? Who would you be without the thoughts, I'm behind?
Probably a lot more behind. Or less motivated to do something more.
Interesting. So it makes sense to want to believe it then, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm not believing this thought, I'm going to fall behind.
It's like the carrot at the end of the stick.
Yeah, it's like it's almost that I'm behind is actually now in the background, thinking it's not there, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Because you're saying the thought isn't there anymore, but no, I'm still behind. I'm still going to fall behind.
It's like I'm chasing the thought of trying to get past the thought.
Yeah. So right now, there's no surprise because it makes sense for you. It's like, if I don't have this thought, then I'm going to fall behind. So I need this thought to keep me going.
Maybe it's not the right thought to have. I mean, motivation, right? It's something I need to kind of get past. Because at times it also is like, when I'm sitting with myself at home and it's like, shit, I'm behind. It becomes a reality at some certain moments. And I'm like, no, I've done this, I've done that, like I've achieved this, and I've set up the company. But then I'll be 6 months okay, and then there'll be like a 2-week period where I'm like feeling like shit 24/7.
The I'm behind makes me feel like I have to chase. I have to like run, be forceful, be a bit more, like a bit more of a push. Is it a bit what that's like? Okay. So as a possibility, let's say we were to pretend this thought was no longer there, exploring who we are without it. Do you see a way to explore your world, to move towards your goals where it's coming from a place of adventure, fun? This would be cool because it's fucking cool. As opposed to, I'm behind.
Yes, it's possible.
And how does that sit with you and feel in that moment?
I mean, it still feels like the I'm behind has more of a push to me than it's cool or adventurous. Like that for me is not the biggest outcome that I'm working towards. Like, okay, it's cool. It's cool.
No, that's just like one example, but let's say you're feeling drawn towards something as opposed to being driven. It's more like you're being pulled toward. It's like you're being guided into heaven. It's like you're being pulled upwards, as opposed to someone's taking it and just like that kind of feeling. Are you getting what I'm pointing? Yeah.
I know, for me it just seems like kind of the let go and be guided to it probably falls into the part of somebody said resistance and control. Because like if I just let go, I feel like I'm not in control. So I'm resistant to that, but in the end, it's like I need the push to go forward, but I don't want the push anymore.
Yeah. And what does having that control give you?
The control gives me a sense of guidance within myself, like I'm controlling what I'm doing. So it gives me more confidence in the decisions and the actions that I take. And I mean, I'm not one to kind of think twice on my decisions. I just go with it and I was like, fuck, I figured it out. And quitting the job from one day to the next. So it just gives me more confidence in the decisions I take because I'm under that pressure of you're behind, so just stop thinking too much, take the decision and figure it out.
Yeah. So I must control to have the confidence in my decisions, and I'm behind. And this is now creating my reality. If the need, let's say, to have the control, if you didn't have it, what comes up? How does that feel?
I don't know, kind of much.
Yeah. Try.
Then what would be?
That's the control again. It's the, oh, but then, and how I did it. It's still the control.
Yeah, wouldn't that be from like the sense of, let's say, responsibilities that I place on myself that I need to do X, Y, Z. So therefore, the control is like by default. Because I need to make sure, this is, I don't have like, but like if it doesn't work, okay, inshallah.
Maybe you need it.
Huh?
Maybe you need it.
Maybe I need it, but I can't. Like it just.
Have you ever tried? Have you ever tried?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
What happened?
I just got lost and just totally like out of it. And that was. But do you think it could be based on like other factors, not necessarily professional, like the fact that I'm the only son or the oldest son?
Can I ask a question on this? Because when you were speaking, you mentioned patience, and then you jumped. What was the other one? You jumped control. Because you started out by saying, like you're comparing yourself to somebody else, you're young or whatever. What life or what would your business be or what would your life be where you would be comparing yourself to them? How much money do you have to have? The business you have to have? What you have to have?
I don't know, but probably would be like if I was to continue my career at this point, the salary level or the, let's say, position in comparison to where I am now, but I had to restart.
So the reason I asked that is because I heard a lot of myself when you were talking, and I think when I look at what you're saying is you don't have an issue with your patience or control. It's your self-worth is being dictated by the money in your bank account, the size of your company, external factors, comparing yourself to other people. Because I look at, like with my life of always being like, I need to make this much money at this kind of company, or my company needs to have this many employees, like all never actually being satisfied. If I look back and even think, when was I happy? I can tell you the days I was happy. The majority of the time, I'm not happy, miserable. And I think, I just really ask that you think that you're putting your self-worth as an external, based on some external factors.
Can Trey add something?
Yeah.
I'm also a very like control freak kind of person, so it's very weird when things don't go my way, especially if I put an effort. But when I have put an effort, yeah. But I think we always think we have more control over a situation than we actually do. So you may think that 100% of your success was because of you, but it was also because of whatever you believe in, like the universe, or good timing, or right mindset, or somebody's good luck or somebody's bad luck. So I think when we kind of give at least 10% of our success credit to something that's not us, something that was not in our control, we were like, oh, okay, that worked out, even though it was not just me that made it happen. So I guess it's something like, leaving some things to the universe, but at the same time realizing that even when things were not in your control, they worked in your favor. So if your business did, for example, since you mentioned that, other things will too with time.
Do you remember what it was? Oh,
I was just going to add, because I've felt like this a lot, I've done a lot of reflecting on how that has impacted my life. And I think the biggest thing for me with regard to that was really establishing moments that I'm proud of in terms of how I've progressed within the view that I have. Because comparing yourself to everyone is always going to be a losing game, because there's always going to be people that are better than you everywhere. But actually taking stock of those moments that you're proud of in terms of the successes that you've had, I think has helped me a lot within my approach to that, because it's really establishing it I've achieved these things that I was set out as goals, and that to me is the success that I wanted in that moment, and really sort of reminding yourself that you actually achieved those things. I think that I found that really useful.
What if there is no control? What if it's an illusion as a possibility? Like if you challenge that paradigm, this idea that I control, and you opened up to, if control is an illusion, what does that mean for me? What comes up there?
I'm just on my own timeline and I just got to go with it.
Okay, I'm on my own timeline, I just got to go with it. How does that feel?
Stressful.
That's the control again, or the I'm behind again. Perhaps it opens, I'm always where I need to be. Perhaps it opens, everything's unfolding as it's meant to. Now, I'm not saying this as a way to then think, oh, well, shall I just sit in bed for the rest of my life? It's the opposite. There's a reason that the people that are most happy and excited about their life, they're not sat in bed all day. It's the opposite. They're out creating, having ideas. A bit like when you're a kid. Remember what that felt like? Yeah. What were you like as a kid?
Always outdoors.
Yeah. Yeah. Adventuring, exploring.
Yeah.
Remember what that feels like? And what does that kid think about control? Yeah, what the fuck? The fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah. This is a space to start revisiting. Sometimes this might feel like a paradox, or how does this make sense because of this? But the idea of control being an illusion is opening up the idea that free will is an illusion. Which again is like, well, dude, what are you talking about? Like, of course we have free will. But how many of you can always predict what thought you're going to have?
Yeah, they're pretty repetitive, so...
Is anyone here the predictor of their thoughts?
What is it? Predict what thoughts?
Yeah, like do you predict your thoughts?
Whoever thinks they are.
Huh?
Whoever thinks they are, they're a control freak.
Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to think next. It's just happening. It's just happening. Yes, I might have an awareness of what thought is popping in, but I don't predict and I don't control when it is coming. It's just like a machine that's feeding me stuff. And we are able to listen to certain thoughts, of course, but even that is also sometimes feeling like we're controlling it, but there's just an awareness that's unfolding. Now, if we're opening up to this, it means me feeling like I'm responsible for, like I should judge myself for this action, judge myself for this mistake, like all this stuff. It removes grace from the process. There's a reason that when people talk about, God's grace or God being forgiving, is because whatever your spiritual beliefs are, he sees the innocence. It's like, you're doing your best, you're a little human trying to figure this stuff out. So perhaps that's something to also see in ourselves. I'm not in control of all of this. It's unfolding through me. That's pretty cool. I get to see what comes next. Sick. Anyone have any thoughts on?
I know we went down the route of control and everything, but I wonder when you mentioned I'm behind, I wonder where that thought comes from and where would you be if you didn't feel like you were behind? And I also wonder if it's not close to where you are, because you still have your company, you still have a lot that you accomplished. And I wonder if you were, in a way, lacking that kindness to yourself to say, no, actually, I'm pretty close to where I want to be. Just a thought. Of course, there's a lot of things that come behind it. But
It's interesting because if I'm acknowledging myself, if I'm seeing my genius, goals, acknowledging who I am and what I've done, my perception of myself and my world will then change. So if I'm seeing myself as I'm a powerful creator, I do amazing things, I'm proud of where I've come, the future is not going to be as like, oh fuck, like what's going on here? It's more like, yeah, I'm sick and there's more coming. Not in an egotistical way, just in a actually being able to see myself. It's like, one picture that always comes to mind with this is if you have a little kid that's drawn something and it looks terrible in the eyes of an adult, they're like, look how amazing I am, because they're seeing their beauty. And that gets diminished over time when people are like, who the fuck are you? So it's an invitation to revisit that.
I also think that it's a fear of being judged by the others, right? And it's also limiting beliefs. You grew up in a family and you're expected to do this, and you kind of, everything that you do, you look at the exterior and you compare yourself to the exterior. But I think it's just, and everyone has it, it's limiting beliefs, saying that because I am not achieving this, then I am not, good enough. And I have to prove others and I have to prove myself that I am this and that. But actually when you stop this and you stop proving anyone anything and you just say, okay, I want to, me, personally, if I forget about my family, forget about like the social, limits and obligations, if I want to live my life and forget about this, how would my life look like? And just accept that you will not please everyone and accept that everyone will have an opinion about you, right? Everyone will, oh, this is not good, oh, this is not good enough. But finding your own voice will be like, okay, but I'm living my life for myself. Nobody's going to live your life for yourself other than you, It's easily said, but I think it's also the limiting beliefs we have.
Can I just draw on this strand? Because it's something I really struggle with it a lot. Do you still care what your parents and your family and what these people think about you?
No, I mean now
They've accepted it.
they've changed, they've accepted it. I mean, as I was telling you, my sisters, after me, have opened the studio here behind. They went, quit. And it's kind of like, it's your brother's fault, like, da da da. But they're like successful now, and my dad's like, oh shit, okay, cool. But it was like, there's still that, like, okay, my parents have got it. I don't care too much now if they have any issues with it because I've passed that phase of, oh shit, I fucked up. Because at the beginning, I didn't know if the company would work if I actually fucked up. The first company failed, the second one had a rough start. So now it's like, okay, I've proven that I can do it and I'm going this path. So I don't care if you like it or not anymore. And they've accepted it.
When you were growing up, is there like any moment when you were like, where you feel maybe it was someone that you care about, someone that you look up to, that gave you some type of extra love or some type of extra validation because you had some type of achievement?
No. I was the experiment child.
The experiment child.
Yeah, the first
Because
one.
if I'm honest, if I like read through the lines, this is my take on it. If I'm just being like really direct, I think even though you say that you are past like judgment from others, I still, from an external perspective, still believe that you do take some type of judgment from others, and that you might still care in some capacity about what others think, or at least get some type of validation from external people. And the reason I bring that up is because something that might help you, because I've done this myself, is diving into what are the things that you want the external world to give you, that you want the external world to tell you. For example, is it maybe, is it a pat on the back? Is it like, well done? Is it like, I'm proud of you? Is it, I love you because you've done this, this, this? Is it because, I don't know, is this one of those lines? Because you've done some type of achievement? And then asking yourself, can you just start to tell yourself those things? And self-generate this self-compassion, this self-love. And I say this because then because you, like as your friend, when I look at you, I'd say you're successful, but I don't believe truly that you view yourself as someone that's successful. And so if you can get to a point where you start to tell yourself, it sounds dumb, like maybe silly, but I love myself because I've done this, or like I'm proud of myself because I've done this, or like that's so cool. And become like your own hype man in a way. Even as you go through this journey of life, which no one knows what will happen next, and you live in the present moment, you then can start to self-generate this compassion, which can remove some of those thoughts.
I mean, what helps me is telling myself I am enough. It's enough.
It's also not based on the achievements, right? It's just unconditional. Like, wherever I am, that's it. I am where I am, right?
My love for myself is beyond conditions.
Do you believe in God?
Oh my god, this is too deep.
We're going to move on to this next segment, but before we do, I want to explore something.
Mine took up a lot of time.
Just one thing, because you said something, is what you look at is the external thing, right? It is the exterior. You mentioned that you always compare yourself to like, oh, that guy is 21, he's already so successful, and I need to push myself more to achieve more. But I think we all do that, but we often forget, what is their story? Do we actually know the entirety of their life, or we only see their success on Instagram? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you actually speak to a person and ask about the struggles they go through, maybe you don't even want their life. You know what I mean? You're like, thank you, I'm very good. I'm very good with my own small business and like my, slow life, whatever that is. If they go from, for example, for immense pressure, and we just don't know that. You know what I mean? So I guess it's just, again, it's all this scratching the surface. Like everything is on the surface, right? Like they really put themselves out there. They look, successful, but what does success cost them? So,
and also the other way around. People look at you and be like, "Oh my God, he's so cool. 24, he, stopped everything and he runs his own business." It's always you think that people look at you in a bad way, but also a lot of people look at you and be like, "Oh my God, 24, like that's so cool." I didn't have the courage to do that, but they get the courage to do that.
Laughing. You don't know why they're laughing, but you just start fucking laughing anyway. Like, you know that feeling?
Yeah.
Is it quite easy to do? Just seeing someone laugh and then just start laughing anyway? And then you're just laughing for no reason? Yeah? I think we've all had that at some point. So you're catching something without conditions. You're catching something without needing to know why. It's just, I'm laughing, he's laughing, we're sharing the laughter. There's a distinction of comparison versus compersion. Now, compersion comes from the world of polyamory, but we won't look at it in that way. But compersion is really just taking joy in someone else's experience, taking joy in the successes of others, as opposed to comparing. So, for example, if I'm seeing someone laugh, I'll start laughing too. If I see someone get this deal, oh, it's mine. It's like you're being energized by something as opposed to comparing. Again, depending on what your beliefs are, if we're seeing that there's no separation between us, there's an illusion of separation, then it is true. We're all sharing this experience, we're just appearing to be separate. And that's where compersion makes way more sense, because it's like I'm sharing his laughter, it's my laughter. And that's when you start to then interact and hear the successes of others, it becomes a whole different experience. And it's something fun to play with as well. We will address some of this other areas, but before we move on, because I know Pierre's coming, I want to explore something. So, just keep it brief, one word, just try. If I ask the question, who are you? We're going to go around the room. There's no right answer, don't overthink it. One word, or three words max. Go around the room, who are you? I'll give you a few seconds to just sit with it for a second, but there's a reason we're doing this. Okay. You don't have to answer. If there's nothing, it's okay.
Who am I? I'm a successful person from a third world country.
Beautiful.
I'm a human being.
Warmth. What do you say?
Warmth.
Variety.
Man of God.
Control freak.
I don't know. I think in mine.
Cool.
I don't know, the only thing I talk about is workaholic, which is terrible.
Explorer.
Explorer.
Figuring it out.
Whatever I want to do.
Empathetic. Cool. Everyone had a different answer. Wasn't that interesting?
I had a similar answer to yours actually. I wanted to say just human being.
Yeah.
It's hard to put a tag on it. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm putting my tag, this is the.
Okay. So, there's a distinction between who we think we are and who we really are. When you peel back all the layers, when you peel back every single label, judgment, interpretation, aspects that you think you are, when you peel it all back, there's a difference between who you think you are and who you really are. So one way to look at this is who we really are, right? Just this space here. And one way we can, okay, here's one way to look at it. It's the space of I am. It's a space of nothingness, a space of awareness, a space of source, a space of God, a space of presence. There's different words for it, but it's who you are beneath any judgment, label, interpretation. Right? It's just space. The second layer outside that is who we think we are. And this is where the story enters. It could be personality, it might be self-image, it might be a judgment, it might be even just let's say an aspect of ourselves like, okay, I'm this kind of person, this is what I work, this is what I do, this is where I'm from. In essence, anything that is after I am is a creation of who we think we are. Now, this part here is our truest essence. It's the part that we often forget. It's a part that all of you at some point in your life would have had a glimmer of. Sometimes you might have a moment when you see something and you can't put words on it. There's just a very beautiful feeling, a nice space, something that is beyond your words. Often in moments of complete presence and quiet. It's just a space. And this entire part here is made up. It's made up. This entire part here is made up.
It's made up by the society, by the parents, by the
Yeah.
everything.
Kamil is a name I was given.
Yeah.
It's not who I am. It's something I use and use to navigate things, but it's not who I am. So this entire thing is made up. Now, why it can be useful to see that it's made up is that we can begin to disidentify where it's not something we want to make our truth. It's an illusion. I'm behind is the illusion. I'm this is the illusion. I'm an employee is the illusion. I'm an entrepreneur is an illusion. It's all made up and it's all illusion. Which, if it's all made up and it's all illusion, how does that sit with you guys? Like, what comes up when you think of that?
Nothing matters.
Yeah.
Nothing matters.
Freedom.
You could be anyone.
Yeah?
Freedom.
Yeah. Freedom. Nothing matters. Can be anything, anyone. How are we all feeling, energy-wise? Yeah? Does that summarize the room right now? Just yeah. Okay. Why don't we bring the presence back into the room, and everyone just close their eyes for a second. Close your eyes. Come into your body. Notice your breath. Notice any sensations you're feeling right now. Take a few slow, intentional breaths. Come back here into the room. Okay. You can open your eyes again. Nice. So, we can take some time to dive deep again and make sure every part of this board is ticked off before we leave this space. So, who here wants to enter back into the hot seat?
You should use the seat.
So you brought up the presence and the compassion, yeah.
So yesterday I was like listening to Piero about talking about presence, about your values that you value like being present, and something clicked in that moment. you know, that I'm thinking so much about business, doing that. I really forgot about living moments. I mean, when I was like, I used to be so fun, doing all the stuff. I didn't care about being so analytical and caring about the business and things like that. And I literally forgot how to live moments. If I'm thinking right now, the time when I made the most money in my life, I wasn't happy at all. And I have that question, why am I happy? You know? Because in business, there are few moments when you really make you happy. We work for money because without money we can't do anything. But there's not much. I didn't have any pleasure to say like that. And I feel like I want to be present again. You know, to live the moments, to live the life. I think.
Okay, so you're noticing there were moments when you weren't as present, you were getting caught up in what's going on in your life, not enjoying things as much, and now you want to fall back into that regardless of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. And presence, so what does presence actually mean for you? How do you see it?
Before I came in Dubai, you do your luggages and things like that, and I said, fuck yeah, finally I finished work, pour a glass of wine, I turn the music on, and I start doing my luggages. I feel so happy in that moment for just doing the luggage, and I knew that I come to Dubai and I'm coming to Dubai. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
Amazing moment. Better than working on the business and making a few $1,000, you know. And that was present for me in that moment because I was conscious about it.
Yeah, you were just a bit able to see and appreciate the beauty in something for no particular reason. You just could.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And in moments when that presence feels like it's lost or you're not in that space, what changes?
There's a lot of pressure. I feel like I can't be myself. And can't be myself and even hard to talk sometimes. Even with my girlfriend or someone else, it's very hard to find my words, and just my mind is in a different place. I mean, totally different place. So many times. I find myself that I'm away and I'm not present with people or doing things.
In not being yourself, what is it that you, let's say, are believing or buying into that feels like you can't be yourself in that moment?
Sometimes I feel I'm addicted to social media, and I think I'm addicted because I'm spending a lot of time and taking so much information. You know, people saying like, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this in order to achieve this and to do that. And I think that thing really affected me. And now I'm listening to all the things that I watched in my head. It's like, oh, this is not okay because that guy said that, you know, and instead of like doing the things that I think is good for me. You know?
Are there conditions placed on whether you can be yourself or not?
Right now, somehow I'm present right now. You know, I can be myself and share all these things. But most of my time is not like this.
Okay, so outside of this, certain conditions get placed.
Really hard to tell. Really hard to tell. Well, I'm thinking not really. I mean, the last moment that really had fun was when I got my luggage. It was like 1 week and a half.
Yeah.
That's a moment that I've been present.
Okay. So let's say in any given moment, we can't not be ourselves. Like even when it feels like we're not ourselves, we're still being ourselves because it's just who we're being in that moment. Now, if I'm seeing that, if if I'm seeing a certain unconditional lens on being myself in any moment, regardless of conditions, regardless of circumstance, being myself, presence, let's say we're putting these in the same category for now. If I'm treating it with a sense of unconditional being myself, unconditional presence, regardless of circumstance, how would your world look from that place?
Wouldn't be so much pressure on me.
Mm.
I mean, I would feel a lot easier.
Yeah, just like
Lose.
yeah,
Lose. Yeah.
it's like it's just like a melting, a
I
melting
feel like
away.
I'm always in.
Mm.
I'm always stiff. And,
Yeah. There's an idea that presence, being in a clear mind, being ourselves, is actually our natural state. What's your thought on that?
Can you put it in another way?
Yeah. So it is innate. It's not something that we have to work on. It's not something that we have to strive for. It's innate and inbuilt for us to be in presence, to be in a clear mind, to be ourselves.
Okay, so how you can literally unlearn everything you learn and start being yourself.
Yeah. So let's say it's a function of our system. Let's say there's an innateness to being in a state of well-being, being in a state of presence, being ourselves, being free. If it's our natural state and it's innate, then that would mean our mind is always trying to come back to it, whether we try to or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So most of the time we're trying to come back. We're working on coming back. We're saying, how do I get back to this space because I feel like I'm not in it right now? If it's inbuilt, if it's innate, that would mean that without even trying, our mind is working on returning to that state constantly to bounce back. It's a bit like why this will be a classic example. Sometimes you're mad about something, and a few moments later you're like, oh, I forgot what happened? Like, I forgot why I was mad. Because the mind is always trying to return. It's a bit like if you push a float under the water, it's going to naturally return when you let go of it. So our mind has that buoyancy where it's always trying to return to being clear, to being free of whatever chat is going on when we stop interfering. Now, what does interference look like? Interference looks like whenever we're in a certain state, we're judging it, we're analyzing it, we're entertaining the thoughts, giving them attention, as opposed to allowing the mind to do the work on its own when we stop interfering. So if I'm not interfering with what is passing through my mind, I know that it's naturally just going to settle again.
So you just let the mind go with the flow?
There's nothing to do. Interesting idea. There's nothing to do. Because if it is our natural state, it's just going to come back if we're not interfering. Now, sometimes it feels hard to not interfere.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, but, this is horrible, this thing happened, it just feels terrible.
So I shouldn't be aware about my thoughts, or I should be aware?
In that awareness, there's less to do with your thinking than you think. In the awareness of what's passing through your mind, you realize there's not as much that you need to do with those thoughts than you might have thought. Because often we think we need to fix it, we need to change it, we need to do something, as opposed to realizing when I'm stepping into the role as the eternal observer. In that space, I realize there's nothing to do because they pass and my mind comes back to a clear state again.
Makes sense.
I'm reading Untethered Soul at the moment.
Nice.
It's just very hard to put it into practice, actually. I
oh, this is cool, right? Not trusting it.
Yeah. It's like, don't think just because you're having a thought that
Yeah.
that's actually
Yeah.
what you think. Because
Yeah.
Exactly.
my
You know
mind.
why you're
How many people do you have in your mind? Like 1, 2, 3? Like, there's any like?
Yeah.
Sometimes you talk with, with two.
There's an understanding of it's just what minds do. What do you guys hear in this?
That's her job.
Huh? Yeah. It's just what minds do. All this chattering, judging, analyzing, predicting, interpreting, it's just what minds do. But why can it be helpful to see that this is just what minds do? Accepting. Leave it alone. Don't have to take it seriously.
That's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah. If I'm seeing that this is just a function of this machine, which isn't me, it's just the machine that I'm watching, I can see, oh, it's doing its thing again. Interesting. I can notice and be curious about it. I can hold space for it. And perhaps the real game changer is to actually love it. To love it no matter what it says. So, let's say in a moment, I'm starting to feel like I'm not good enough, or I start to feel like I can't do something, or I start to feel insecure, or... So yeah, an example could be a negative thought, right? So some of the examples that I mentioned of, what are people going to think of me, or is this the kind of person I am? In that moment, what typically happens is that we tend to fall into further self-judgment, think, oh, I'm having this thought, it's bad, like, I shouldn't be thinking this way. Why am I thinking this way? How do I escape from this? That's not loving it. That's resisting it, that's judging it, that's wanting it to not even be in the room. Now, even if I have this relationship with my own mind where no matter what it feeds me, in the moment I can actually love it for what it is.
So how does someone love a negative thought that they don't like? So give me an example, just so I just have more awareness about like what you're saying.
Yeah. 100%. If a baby throws up on you, would you then just smack it at the wall?
Why did you pause?
I was like, hold on. Okay, so okay. In that moment, how would you treat it?
Oh, we would obviously not throw it at a wall. No, we would obviously take care of it and understand that it's a baby and that's what happens.
Yeah. So you're seeing it for what it is. You're seeing it for its innocence. You're realizing that it's doing its best. It's okay. And regardless of if it felt like a slight inconvenience in that time, you're giving it a hug anyway.
Yeah, but aren't you going to want to know why it threw up on you? Is it sick? Is there a problem?
ashamed of that or stuff like that. Perhaps it's just your subconscious's way of protecting yourself. And for me, the way I love that is, oh, thank you for protecting me, but I'll pass this thought for now. So you can
Because
think
when,
of it.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but when you say loving it, like my interpretation of it is like, I love this thought, but is it more do you mean from a place of acceptance? Like it's just a thing.
Yeah, so there's this someone called Byron Katie. He has a great quote. I love what I think, but I'm never tempted to believe it.
That sums it up.
Yeah. So it's an act of loving what is, but that doesn't mean we need to trust or believe it. But the reason it's important to love it for what it is it's like disarming. There's the conflict ceases. If I'm not at conflict with my own mind, I'm at peace with myself, no matter what passes through. So it's the conflict with what we experience that causes the suffering. The only reason we suffer is because we're conflicting with what is, as opposed to loving it. That's the only cause of suffering. Pain and suffering are different. Obviously, someone stabs me, I'm hurt. But it's not about suffering, that's just physical pain.
Can you repeat that sentence? The suffering?
It's the conflicts with what we experience that creates suffering. If I'm not at conflicts with my own thoughts, my own mind, then I stop suffering. It's that resistance, it's the judgment, it's not wanting something to be there that creates the suffering. But if I can be at peace with what is, if I can see that I don't need to be at conflict with this thing, literally immediately you'll notice a shift in awareness. You'll start to be able to hold it like a baby, not identify with it, and just allow it to be there. And that's the game changer.
I think one thing when you were saying that too is I was thinking of like an experience I had when I was really young. I started my first business when I was like 20, and there was this one month the business had been doing really, really bad for months, and I had no money, and the business was going to collapse that month. And I had to ask somebody like $40 for gas because I couldn't even afford to like go to the office and it was bad. And I just remember like that time I was like beyond depressed, couldn't sleep. It was just really, it was like negative times 100 in my life. And I just thought like everyone's judging me, the world's like ending, my whole life is collapsing there. And it eventually worked out, I was able to turn things around. And I look back at that, and I'm actually, even though that was like the darkest time of my life, and I couldn't have thought anything could have got worse, I look back and I'm like, I'm so happy I had that experience and went through that at such a young age, because I obviously those things happen over and over again in my life, but realizing really early on that this is all temporary. All this pain, suffering, anything you go through is temporary. So even when I've had other experiences like that in the future, or more recently, it's being able to maintain that mindset that this is temporary, and it's not like the world is ending and everything's collapsing. It's going, things will change. It might change next month, it might take a year or two, but it is going to change at some point. I think just if you don't have, everything just goes great throughout your entire life and you're just winning, winning, winning. I think one is you're not appreciating the actual wins and when things work out. But just realizing, I think it gives you that perspective. It gives you that perspective, and when things are going bad, you can stay level-headed. You can still see the light at the end of the future. So yeah, it just kind of made me think of that experience. But again, like I now look at those as amazing, positive experiences, even though they were so dark.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful way to describe the shift in how you actually hold those experiences for yourself. Yeah.
I think one thing that I'd like to share as well regarding, like you mentioned, it's just what minds do is we negatively think naturally, right? And recently, one thing that I implemented to actually really reflect on things in my life, because I also stress about business and all of that, and I also have a similar situation where I feel like I'm not where I want to be, which which is very natural, right? Is finding things you're grateful for. It sounds so cliche where they like write 3 things you're grateful for throughout the day, but when you actually, even not write it down, but if you think about it when you're driving, say it out loud of like, what are the 3 things I'm grateful for today? And it actually makes you appreciate things more and actually make yourself more confident that, oh wow, like I'm grateful because I experienced this and now I know what to do moving forward. Or I'm grateful because of my mom, right? Like I'm grateful because I met amazing people today at the event and I learned so much from just this coaching. So that naturally, subconsciously down the line helps a lot for you to not ruminate about negative thoughts, and it worked wonders for me. I've tried implementing it in the last 2 weeks, and honestly, it's helped a lot of my mindset overall and being more present as well.
I have a question. When you're speaking about presence, when you have that moment when you catch yourself that you're not present, how much are you in touch with your body in that?
The problem is I'm not catching that moment to
So you're
be aware of being present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what we often do is just we think about the presence is just like we constantly in our minds and we forget that our mind also has a physical shape, right?
Yeah.
And how it's connected, all of it in our body, right? We were just speaking about 5-4-3-1, this this exercise. There's breathing techniques, right? Again, to bring you back to this present moment as well. There's meditations, all of that sorts of things. Just to, I know that you don't catch yourself in that moment, but like I think what helped me personally the most, whenever I am also in constant events of life, and then I just come back home and I'm like, oh my god, where did the day go? It's the time to pause, it's the time to, as you said, you are at a journal, you reflect, you just breathe, or, but you do it as an exercise. Meditations, prayers, these kind of things.
When I was smoking, I was more.
When you were smoking, it was a time to pause. Yeah, yes, that's the thing.
But that's the point. It's the moment. Yeah. It's the moment when you stop to notice.
Because you're in the moment. You know what I mean? So just maybe, smoking is a bad example, right? Because it ruins your body. No judgment, again, yeah. But replace it with something else instead. But you have to do. It's like a muscle. You have to train it all the time. Right? Yeah. You cannot just like, oh yeah, of course, breathing now. No, you have to sit and do it.
And then there's certain activities, so things like golf and like shooting, like riding motorbikes as well. Is a great one because you can't not be in the moment because otherwise you'll fall off or crash. But those kind of events are always good.
Why can it be really useful to notice something? Just to notice, nothing more.
Notice you are present.
You separate yourself from it.
Yeah. There's
What? Again?
You separate yourself from it. Like, oh, I'm not being present. And then you're like, okay, wait.
Awareness.
the act of noticing by nature creates a separation. So if in a moment of all I'm doing is noticing something, noticing how I feel, noticing what I'm thinking, just nothing more, just noticing, it's already beginning to create a separation between me and the thing. And in that separation is when I stop being as tricked, fooled by what's going on. I can't be tricked by something if I'm noticing it. Because I'm not then being the thing, I'm in the noticing. That's all it takes. It's like if there's some kind of jester or fool or demon, not in a bad way, that's like flying around and you notice it, like, oh, there you are. I notice you now. So you can't trick me. It's the exact same thing with what we're talking about here. Has this been helpful with the presence?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Who wants to jump in next?
When we serve judgment,
self-judgment and judging others. I think first of all, they are very connected. If I'm hard on myself, I will always be hard on other people, and that is part of my character. It's just a character trait that I have. Judging others that's something I feel like I'm aware of it. That's the first step, right? So and then I need to take it further and get rid of that or make it a bit less intense, I would say. It's just I think maybe certain choices that people make that I don't understand, or the lifestyle that they have that I don't relate to, for example, and they judge them for that. I do. Yeah, thank you. So, but again, I'm not sure where it comes from. Like, I don't know what's underlying issue. Like, is it that I envy them because they have that something that I don't, or is it because something, let's say, I'm also capable of but I'm not doing? That might be that, or it's just like I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what's the thing.
There's this idea that judgment is a double-edged sword in the sense that when you judge someone else, you're actually judging yourself. So it's a double-edged sword because you're basically stabbing, but it's both ways. And how this works is if in a moment I'm judging someone, I now see it as an opportunity and a window for me to reflect into what part of myself I've judged that is projecting this. It may not be the exact same thing, but there's often a link there. So if you're noticing in a moment this person's lifestyle, what the fuck are you doing, like, that kind of thing, then if you were to just try it now and think about a particular judgment, could you give an example of?
Okay, I really don't understand and I judge people who are doing a lot of plastic surgery. Like, I just, I can't.
Yeah,
I
and
see
yeah.
lips done and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with this?
Yeah.
You know?
And
Sorry. If it's someone's choice, sorry, but I
understood.
Like,
Now, what part of that? What's the aspect of that you're judging?
like, what can't you just accept yourself, you know, as you are? Why do you need to constantly put something and like be like everyone else? Because they're all the same. They look the same.
So it's like you're judging them for not accepting themselves.
I don't know. I mean, that's my thought.
That's what's coming up.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a point in your life when you've judged yourself for a certain thing that you weren't happy within yourself?
Every day.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're like, you know,
Yeah.
it's really. So I think that breaking the cycle is starting with myself first, right? And then it naturally follows that I'll just let people do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that part. But you mentioned also something interesting, I think just an hour ago. You said, what if we just flip it and we draw the inspiration from that? You know? Because you can find, let's say, or you can just dig deeper a little bit and maybe people are unhappy about how their appearances, right? And then maybe they're miserable, that's why they're doing it. So have a bit more compassion towards that rather than the judgment. So that part. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm curious, are you judging from a loving place because you want them to do better? So like,
No.
No. So it's from like a negative
It's from a negative place.
Because you're saying like, they don't want lip filler or like, you know, fill in their face, but is that because it's harmful?
It's just I don't get it, I think. Like what comes up when I see it is just like, why are we doing this? And then why do you want to look like everyone else? You know?
Because they're not being different.
You know, not being different from me. It's the, like,
You want them to be themselves.
yeah,
So
individuality, I think
Yeah,
is
so you then not being themselves is a negative thing and they can like aspire to be better if they would be
could
themselves.
be, actually, that's
So
an
if you look at it from
interesting
that
thought.
perspective, you're just helping them out.
Interesting. I love that.
So
That's
like-
a twist.
So like every judgment thing is because you know deep inside they're worth more.
I mean, yeah, they're beautiful
Because
naturally.
like I have a similar problem I used to. So like, for instance, fitness coach. So I judge people who are overweight, but it's coming from a loving place. But even though in my head it's bad, it's like why are you overweight X, Y, and Z. I could phrase it differently, but it's because it's coming from like loving judgment, if that makes sense. Because I know they can do better.
Yeah, and we know it feels different when you're seeing something greater in someone compared to just judging them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
Yeah.
Is it coming like out of spitefulness, or is it that like because if it's spitefulness, then you have to get your own check because then whatever reason. But if it's coming from a place from like I care for this person or like this being so much because I care for myself so much, they can do better, and it's coming from that. And the only reason I say that is like etc.
Mm.
So if you judge righteously because they want to do better, that's okay. But obviously it's how you work. Because if you go up to someone and say, why the heck do you put the food in the face? But if you're like, that's harmful for you, you're a beautiful being without it. Two different things, right?
Fair. Yeah. Something to reflect on. Yeah. That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah. So there's that where the actual feeling you have towards someone, you know when you're judging someone, it's like, look at this person, like, oh, like, what an idiot kind of thing. Compared to, oh, well, like I see this person doing this thing, but I see something completely different for them. It may not even be right for them, it may not, but that's what I'm seeing. Now, yeah.
I think it's interesting, yeah, from that perspective, because I think that you could look at the whole fitness experience of, you have a person that's just running to get some cardio in, people who go to the extreme of like working out hours a day, then you have even going further where maybe you have like certain supplements and a specific diet that you're following, you have all these levels of like extreme. And it's not like anything's right or wrong, but I think it's an opportunity to understand and learn more about like their perspective and why they're doing these things. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I think anyone, whether you're doing that stuff or going to the gym or you're intensity on any of this, if they're seeing that as a form of like self-development, is like just understand, like having a more openness to understanding their perspective of who they are and what they believe in, and feeling like there is like a right way to do it.
Yeah, I think that you've nailed it perfectly. Like if someone, for instance, like if someone was getting it removed from their face and I told them that, your judgment of them would be completely different.
Yes,
right?
could be. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I would be thinking good for you.
yeah, so then it
It's
becomes,
helpful.
you're purely, like in my opinion, your judgment from when you read praise is purely coming from a place of, you know they can do better, and it's coming from a loving perspective, and you're hating yourself for giving a loving perspective. But maybe because your thoughts are like coming from like a super harsh point,
Yeah.
from like this and stuff.
Yes.
So change it.
Interesting.
Um,
That's what I do personally, so yeah.
That helps.
Shreya?
Yeah, I think sometimes we think people can do better, but they're actually doing their best. If, like maybe they have a lot of stuff going on in their life, but it's one lip filler that makes them feel like, oh wow, I feel more confident. Now I feel like when I have that job interview next week or when I'm on stage, I feel better. So I think in some ways detachment, because we're not responsible for the other person, we judge because we're human. We enjoy that aspect as well. We think we know better, and we think we know the best for everyone. But even like I follow a lot of fitness coaches. It's my interest. I follow a specific person who's very good at fitness coaching, but he struggles with his mental health. The only thing he does is he's vocal about it, and he says that okay, I have like 10,000 students right now buying my products. He has like 500 coaches or whatever working with him. Just because he's going through something and he can't maintain his physique in the perfect manner doesn't mean he's not doing his best to run like a multiple 7 or 8 figure agency. So yeah, I think that also helps. Like you think they can do better, but they're actually doing the best.
Yeah, so everything becomes innocent if everyone's just doing their best.
And that maybe actually brings me back to that self-judgment as well. Maybe I should be a bit more compassionate towards myself, that I'm doing my best, at the moment. Yes, my choices can be different from other people's choices, but like in my own reality, whatever I choose to do with my life, with myself, with my body, my mind, everything, just also be a bit more compassionate.
Does anyone...
It depends how you define best, because if everyone's doing their best, then no one's doing their best.
Let's slow this down. Who here doesn't think we're doing our best? Interesting.
So then they are doing their best.
Now, who here does not think that we're doing our best?
I'd say it could be better.
Pretty much everyone. Pretty much everyone.
See how much self-judgment we
A lot of room for judgment. Now, there's an understanding that every single human being, no matter who they are, is doing their best based on the thinking they have which looks real to them. Everyone's doing their best based on the thinking they have that looks real to them. What do you guys hear in that?
Doing the best based on my current understanding.
Yeah. Now, understanding can change, best can change, best can look different. But in any moment, I'm operating based on what I'm believing to be real and true. I can't not. That's all I have. So there's this idea that, oh, I'm not at my full potential, like infinite potential and stuff, the classic. But perhaps I'm always at my potential, and my potential changes. Now, if that is true, how am I going to treat myself?
I just think these words then lack meaning, because the definition of potential, do you know what I mean? Like, all of these adjectives don't have a meaning if everyone is at them. And if potential is, how would you define it? The thing that, the level that you could reach, then that does naturally kind of leave a gap rather than sort of being at our potential.
Potential can change. Potential can look different.
Yeah, so just like more of a fluid thing.
I think it's like different levels of capacity you have every day.
Mm.
End of the year. Like me, 25 years old, so much potential. Now I'm 32 this year, I'm like, sure. Give me some. No, there's still, but less than when I was younger.
No, I don't agree with that at all. I love stories about people who achieved amazing things later
No,
in
I
life.
do love it. I just want to chill a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, much less energy than I used to have at 25. So that kind of thing.
You be more kindness to yourself.
Yeah, it's potential. It's a compassion.
More potential to chill.
Yeah, more potential to chill now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Could be, but I don't know.
It's a bit like if you're watering a seedling and you see it growing and then you think, fucking come on, bro. Move. No. The seedling is at 100% right now. It's literally at 100% right now. And yes, it's going to change and change and change and change, but it is at 100% right now.
Well, if you think in terms of like, if you're always thinking about potential, or whatever, you had a goal, right, and you're always thinking about that goal, you're just going to be depressed all the time. Because you're always thinking about something that you never are.
Yeah.
Versus, like, it's fine to think about what you see yourself as an optimal potential or optimal goal or optimal you, but if you're constantly focused on that, you're never focused on the present, and that's just living in misery
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, it's very hard. Exactly. Progress, not perfection.
So much unnecessary suffering.
And if I'm looking at how am I going to treat myself, it's going to be with way more love and compassion, way more understanding, way more grace. And there's support there, there's encouragement, there's love, as opposed to the whip. The whip works. Does. I don't want scars on my fucking back.
Yeah. I think also what helps sometimes it's when you're going through something hard and you're harsh on yourself, you take the person you love the most and you think about if that person would be exactly in my situation, feeling exactly like myself, what would I give her as an advice? Would I say, oh my God, be harsher on yourself? Or would I say, okay, it's fine, you've done your best. It helps.
There's an exercise I like to do sometimes, so let's try it now. Everyone close their eyes. Get present again. Again, fictional, non-fictional, anything, an image, a person, an object, whatever. This thing that you're thinking of is the pure embodiment of innocence. It's the pure embodiment of innocence. Take time to sit with that thing, whatever it is. Okay, you can open your eyes. I'd like to hear what you guys have said. So can we go around?
A puppy.
A puppy?
Okay, that was my cat that passed away last year.
Use your cat?
My younger self.
Your younger self?
Same.
Younger self? Oh, you just came back. What is the most innocent thing that you can think of? Baby?
No, I mean, to a certain extent, like a child, right? Because you're still, let's say, not influenced by a lot of things
Yeah.
that you see as a
Child?
My teenager sister.
Your
Teenager sister.
teenager
Child.
sister? Your mum? Hmm? Okay. Okay. Mini you? Okay. We've had a few different things. Puppy, cat, younger self, child, baby, teenage sister, mum. What do they tend to... What kind of energy is all of this coming from when you think about these things? Protective?
I don't know, I think of a child, I think the child doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Freedom?
Unaware.
Unaware?
Oblivious.
Oblivious?
Just what they are.
Yeah, just what they are.
Also, I mean, you said it, delusional. Like they want to be a princess. Like my little sister, she says, when I grow up, I want to be a fairy. That's
Yeah.
delusional, but that's the embodiment of the innocence, right?
Everything is
It's pure.
There's a purity, yeah, and innocence and unawareness. Now, whatever image you guys had for yourself, it's a window to begin looking at, well, what if I was to see that thing in them in me? Could I see what I see in them in me? To see my innocence, to see my purity, to see my obliviousness. Now, I've heard it said many times, well, I'm an adult now. Really? If you look at this board,
It's adulthood.
we're all just little babies, really.
The babies didn't have any of this.
Yeah.
Isn't it like, I mean, going back on the delusion, right? Like, to bet on yourself, you have to have a certain level of delusion within yourself that I can make it no matter what anyone says. But there are still parts that we keep, I guess we just forget about them
Yeah.
on the day to day. But if you really, like today, sit down and think, most of these, I mean, we are present in them. It's just with the day to day bills, stress, life,
Yeah.
lose track of it.
Yeah. I like the word you use, like you remember. This is like a remembering of what we've forgotten, which implies it's always been there. It's like a waking up from the illusion, if you're going to get esoteric. Yeah. Just helping with the self-judgment.
100%. I loved your conversation.
Mm.
It changed my perspective.
Beautiful. Okay. Who's next?
No, thank you very much. I'm done.
Taps.
I mean, we spoke about delusional. Maybe we can just continue into that.
Delusion. Take it away, Shreya.
Well, we've talked about it quite a bit.
Mm.
I think delusion, like for me, has always been like I can do whatever I want, and because of that, the time between a thought and action was like not there. You know, I would think something and I would just do it. Over time, it becomes like okay, there's other responsibilities which I have defaulted to.
Mm.
Again, you know that, but I want it to be consistent. I don't want it to be conditional on feelings, but more on like, this is who I am. I'm a delusional person, and I want to stay that way forever.
Mm. When you said delusion and then reality check,
Yeah.
do you see any difference there, like between delusion and reality?
Yeah, I think reality check as in noticing my own patterns, seeing where I messed up, seeing where the delusion didn't work out or I maybe shouldn't have followed it.
Mm.
So the reality is more of what I've seen in myself, and because of that I have this image of myself that, oh, now I'm this person who, if I do this, this is the only outcome.
Mm.
It's not going to work out, or it's going to take time, or lack of patience and all of that continues.
So what I'm hearing then is there's a conditional delusion.
Yeah.
It's like there are certain factors and parameters that are influencing how delusional I am.
Usually if I'm like rock bottom,
Mm.
nothing to lose, which is never the case really, but like sentimentally if I'm there, then I'm like, yeah, I will just do whatever I want. And then suddenly everything starts working out because there's nothing left but delusion to rely on. But like I said, I want that delusion to be the reason why I keep up my momentum.
Mm. Do you think there's any requirement to have delusion?
Not really.
I think so. I think it's massive. Like consistently taking risks. We were talking about it before, where I was stuck in a slump where, similar to you, I didn't like not feeling delusional, that drive consistently. And how I fixed that bottleneck was I just decided just to consistently take big risks. With something around scarcity, which was money. So I just started investing in things consistently.
Mm.
And that put me in that constant state of life.
You said not really. Why?
What did I say? Not really.
You said there's no requirement. Is there a requirement to delusion?
Because I think it's again one of those, it's a thought, right? So a thought can be fleeting,
Mm.
can be something you sit with. So I'm just aware that there's no condition because let's say like we're in this group right now. If you say something versus like he says something, I will only think about based on what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But if you both hadn't said that thing, I wouldn't be thinking about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's not conditional.
Is there a razor in the back? Oh. Okay. So let's see. All right. So, there's a distinction. Legacy being versus present being. Legacy being is all of our past stories, conditioning, things we've picked up over the course of our lives. That's what we'll call legacy being. Present being is who we are right now. Beneath all of that, like beyond all of that, it's just present being. In any given moment, we can sometimes fluctuate between legacy being and present being. So Shreya, if you were to give a name it could be fun and playful, whatever, a name for your legacy being, all of the past stuff.
Can I say delusion?
Delusion? You sure?
Like that's how I've been in the past.
Okay. So the present being is uninfluenced by anything that you've been through. So it's like the part of you that is most free and present and beyond limitation. The legacy being is the stuff that you've picked up over time. So, again?
Just any word?
Yeah, anything.
I'm gonna say clear.
Huh?
Clear.
Claire.
Clay. C-L-A.
Oh, clay. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, got you. So, clay Shreya. What about the present one? Yeah, anything else fun and playful come to mind? Playful Shreya, okay. So you've got clay Shreya and playful Shreya. Clay Shreya is a bit like what we're talking about. It's the part of you that can have the egoic chatter. It's the part that can, be scared, insecure, anxious. The part that has certain identities that they're living in. Playful Shreya is who's beyond that completely. She's free of what the legacy being is. What do you think might differentiate who we're being in any given moment? Like, what is the difference maker, whether we're sitting in legacy being or the present being? Anything else?
How you think about yourself?
Yeah. Anything else? So what differentiate, like, in any given moment, we're either in our present being or our legacy being. Now, what kind of is the deciding factor, or what creates the experience we have of whether we're in legacy being or present being?
I think just the thought we lean towards most.
That's like what you're listening to, paying attention to. Yeah.
For me, it's also when I'm in my legacy being, I don't think about anything. But when I'm in my present being, like, okay, who do I want to show up as?
Yeah. Yeah. So in the present being, you're seeing there's a creation here. Who do I want to be in this moment? Who do I want to show up as today? But there's also a relationship we have with the legacy being. If it's clay Shreya, how do we feel about clay Shreya?
Did her best.
Yeah.
Could have done much more.
How loving is that relationship?
It's alright.
It's all right. It's moody, changes. Okay. Which is, I think a lot of us can relate to. Sometimes we might feel a certain way about this version that pops up, as opposed to perhaps whether we're in present or legacy being able to just give it the deepest compassion and love. If I can do that, it becomes easier to not fight this thing. It becomes a friend. I get to thank it for what it's done. I get to acknowledge it for who it is. And look at, who do I want to step into right now? What do I want to feed right now? Even just stopping to notice, am I currently in legacy or am I currently in my present being? And you guys can even come up with a name for this for yourself of what you want to call your legacy and present, so it's unique to you. But it becomes a distinction to draw upon in any moment. And as we earlier explored, legacy being is all made up. It's all illusion. But we can still love it and hold space for it and treat it as a friend on the journey as opposed to something to try to push away.
You can also take good parts from that legacy and bring it
Yes.
to the present, you know?
Yes.
Keep everything that behind. I mean, just, yeah, it's a lesson, and it's a, you know, but the good things also were there.
Yeah. You've served amazing purposes and still can. How's this landing for everyone? Good? I can sense the energy is going down right now. Yeah. Okay. We'll take a stop there for this portion. Again, thank you for what you all brought.